Yeah. End Israel. End Judaism. End religion altogether. Because it's all bullshit. Now let's see what happens. Am I going to get my spike up to 20 here in the next 2 minutes? Then we'll drop back down. And is that how that's going to work today? I wouldn't be surprised, would you? But it's not free Palestine. I mean, it's the thing that we've been allowed to say, because what we all mean by free Palestine is end Israel. But we're not allowed to say it, so we say free Palestine. Because how can you condemn a phrase that's about freedom? You know, they can't. They can't really shut that one down. So somehow that one sort of snuck through, and us dumb goyim think, okay, we're allowed to say that one, so we do. But how does free Palestine affect Lebanon? By the way, this is my morning sky, as usual, full of chemtrail shit. I don't know why you would see that and think that's normal, but apparently a lot do, I guess. The free Palestine thing, I mean, Israel is attacking Syria, Lebanon, Iran, Iraq. They're attacking everyone right now. So how does free Palestine fit into that narrative? It doesn't. It doesn't. And as, you know, free Palestine to what? When are we talking about? Palestine's never been free. Whether it's the religious monarchy, the Christian or Muslim king, queen, whatever system that I guess was in control prior to World War I. But prior to 1948, it was British Mandate Palestine. And it was system that put the British in charge of they used World War I to put the Brits in charge of Palestine so that there wouldn't be any sort of resistance. So that there wasn't a Palestinian military. There wasn't a real Palestinian government. So when the Brits pulled out, everything went to shambles and the people couldn't defend themselves. And that's exactly what happened with the Nakba, with May 15th, 1948. You know, this is shit. It's all shit. Okay, so we're at Inkster in 6 Mile now. This is where the 20 should pop, right? Shouldn't we get like 17 to 23 people, and then it'll drop back down by the time I get to my house? You know, we can't be cowardly. There's 7. Okay, no, jump back up again. You can't be a coward anymore. You have to say it. It's okay. It's okay to say Judaism is cancer. It's okay. It's okay for us to say, like, that shit is awful. Have you seen what they do? Are you familiar with how Judaism works? Are you familiar with how the Jews look at the non-Jews? Because it's really a disgusting, ugly belief structure. And the thing, you know, Christianity isn't much better. Islam isn't much better. Islam means peace. In some regards, I guess, if you say it does. Doesn't seem like it's a very peaceful thing. But at the end of the day, all the Abrahamic religions are Judaism. Extensions of Judaism. And it's more and more bullshit to keep the people under control. Like, really? You honestly think there's a God? There's God up there, and he's watching down on everybody, just listening to prayers. Listening to prayers. He turned a blind eye to the Palestinian people and their plight. Yeah. He turned a blind eye to all the clergy fucking raping children left and right. No. But he's up there listening to your prayers. Hope I get this job. Oh, I'm sure I deserve it better than everybody else, more than anyone else that's applying. I don't know who has how many kids or single moms or anything. I don't know anything about it. But I know I deserve the job. Please, Jesus, please get me this job. Gosh, I hope this boy likes me. Oh, I hope this girl likes me. I'm going to pray about it. Oh, I'm going to pray that the life, the cancer that God put in my relative, that God takes that away. I only pray about selfish things. It's fucking stupid. Literally, like religion, especially Christianity, it's so stupid. Jesus and all that stuff. I mean, it just... God, is it so insultingly stupid and mind-numbingly stupid. And I just can't imagine why, other than, them praying on your eternal salvation. I don't understand how anyone can believe in that bullshit. Well, I believe it because I want to go to heaven when I die. Because I can't accept the idea of death. And death is fucking scary. It's awful. I don't want to die. It scares me all that I'm 45, man. I'm at that age where if I die, yeah, it's sad, but it's like that. People my age die all the time. And we didn't get to 20 today. They cut it at 7. Which is interesting. I just think it's so strange how well the self-policing works. How well them telling us you can't talk about that, so we don't. How arrogant religious people are until you question them. And if you question them, their whole bravado falls apart. What a strange...
Did you see that picture? Did you blow it up and look?
No, I know what those pictures look like. And then nowadays the problem too is half the time you don't even know if they're AI generated images or not.
That's an awesome picture. Like the billboards and the steel rods like all over crisscrossing holding, it's pretty incredible.
The street cars.
Yeah.
We don't ever talk about that, but we don't... I mean, again, every single city has a sewer system underneath it. And then major cities have like subway systems and all that shit. New York has had a subway system since basically New York. And we don't even question it. We don't even think about it. We just...
Like, how did they... Way up there, how did they do those?
Not just those. Look at the building. How that's like 5 stories, 6 stories, 7 stories up.
So what is that? Because here's the old
Hudson's building.
Yeah. So what is this?
Who knows? Look at all of the intricate details. This is old Woodward.
Yeah, that's where Hudson's was on, but I don't know what that building.
There's clothes. When you look at these old stores, there's always lots of clothes shops. Look at that. Who built all that? This is 1935.
No, it's 17.
No, 1917. Streetcars, trains. What factory was producing all of these streetcars?
The name is Pat or Triple P. I said, I'm gonna let it slide, but just this once.
And you think, like, how did all these people get around? There's not stoplights and shit. How did we do it without being told what to do?
Well, there's not very many cars. It's all street cars for the most part.
But if you look at the back, like, okay, so this has got to be 10 stories tall.
Right.
10 stories tall.
I think that rack of lights or whatever, that's even more impressive because they have nothing to stand on. Look, that's a good story above the roof.
Well,
So how the fuck?
those are ether
And
antennas.
that's metal. That's heavy. They didn't carry that shit up a ladder.
Well, they had their cranes. The thing about all that is, cameras have been around since the 40s, and we're real big into documenting things. So where's all the documentation showing the construction of these cities? The construction.
Oh, they didn't think to take pictures of that.
Right, they didn't think it would be interesting to show this is what it was, this is 10% done, 20%. They don't think that. Yeah, right. Why wouldn't they? Why would they want to document and keep, like, we understood the importance of keeping records to the point where I know that Dionysus is why it's 2024, because in 525 this guy Dionysus in Italy did it. So there is a remnant of Atlantean culture post-destruction. Atlantean. Maybe. Maybe. We don't know. I think there's definitely something. I think there's more land than we understand. I think there's land in between the United States and Europe and in between the United States and Japan. I think especially with the United States and Japan, like that they now say it's the great garbage patch and you can't get anywhere near it. And we're not like back in, I don't know, 2000, say 15, maybe earlier, there was this kid who invented this machine that could clean the waste. And he was saying it could clean 2 million pounds a week or something like that. I don't know. 20 million pounds a week. I don't know. But then when it only cleaned 1 million pounds, they shut it, and it broke. They shut it down. Now, this kid did pretty much all of this on his own with his own grants and all that. What would happen if the government got behind it? What would happen if the military that makes all the rockets and the jets and all that, the lasers and all the weaponry, what if they got behind the cleanup thing? Do you see mountains as melted building structures? No.
I think it's crazy. They found lakes in the desert.
I mean, maybe some of those buildings are, but like I've been saying for quite some time now, Tartaria is the very best distraction they've given us. Because everything you look into, it like seems true. It seems valid. You can understand it. And the historical record doesn't really make sense without the Tartarian, aspect of it. But at the end of the day, we only know as much of Tartaria as we do, and we'll only know as much as we do, because the Jews that control the narrative allow us to know these things.
How have we nobody's been in a plane and flown over the desert and seen lakes before? We're just now figuring it out. We don't fly over deserts.
I really don't know what Ange is talking about with that.
They just came out with that.
So I'm going to try to look it up.
First satellite images showing that there are lakes in the desert.
See, a lot of times she'll look something up and won't look further, and that's the only reason why I hesitate. Lakes in the desert. Flooding in Morocco turns Sahara Desert into a lake. Incredible pictures show transform Sahara after exceptional rain. Before and after satellite image. Show lakes appearing across Sahara after deluge. A lake materializes in Sahara Desert, offering a glimpse into Africa's past.
So they must have been talking about after it rained.
Yeah, probably.
It's on the news. It was going to be a story, and I didn't stay to watch it.
Tartaria is too small a movement, not like flat Earth BS. Right. You think we live on a ball. Whether you believe we live inside the ball or outside the ball. Like the stupidity of be like, it's BS. Dude, you believe the same thing. Except again, the idea that we're on the inside of a ball is stupid.
Where did the term "I'll go to the edge of the earth for you"? Where'd that come from?
I mean, there's the fact is there are far too many places on Earth where you can see too much further than you should be able to. And it doesn't go slightly up, and it doesn't go over the curvature. It's just straight up. Huh?
And all the places we're not allowed to go to.
But that, that in itself, just the idea of it is stupid. It's like Jesus. It's like anything else. It's stupid. When you actually think about it, and you think, okay, so there's a zero gravity empty space that just has these objects floating around in them, but they're not actually floating. They're traveling at unfathomable speeds, depending on what aspect you're looking at. When we're talking about the Earth spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, that's fantastic. When you're talking about the Earth goes around the sun 67,000 miles per hour, that the solar system moves throughout the galaxy at like 100,000 miles per hour. And then the galaxy moves throughout the universe at upwards of 1,000,000 miles per hour. It's just stupid. It's just stupid. And this guy keeps saying, no, I'm concave. Yeah, well, that's living inside of a ball. What do you mean we're on the inside of a ball?
The inside?
Yes.
So we have Earth crust above us?
Yes. We're the crust is around and then the sun is in the middle of the Earth.
That doesn't make any sense.
That's the stupidest fucking shit. But it
doesn't explain for everything moving around in the sky that we see.
It doesn't. Where the fuck does it go at night?
Turns off.
Turns off.
A string that you pull.
And
that people at different times of the day turn it off for different parts of it.
Right, it's just dumb. It's just such a dumb waste of energy. And at the end of the day, the shape of the Earth is a dumb waste of energy because, again, until we overthrow the Jews that control our narrative, we can't really know the truth. Now,
any of it.
Right. Now, when it comes to the Earth-shape argument, the fact is they use NASA and all that shit to say they're going to space. They take money from the people and give it to these organizations that they say are space organizations. So there's an issue with that. But it doesn't. It's all such dumb and like huge nonsense that it really doesn't matter. And it doesn't affect the fact that the Jews are killing people. That the Jews are trying their damnedest to start World War III. That Israel is supposed to grow by like 10 times the size. That's what the whole plan is. Maybe look at the model, right? Because I haven't looked at it, and I'm not debunking what I've looked at, and then I'm not proposing questions that you, the believer, should be able to answer, but you just choose not to. Instead, you just want stupid attention because you're such a genius. Oh, what a clown.
How do you have wind inside of a closed phone?
It's artificial. No, because it's a VR as well as... It's just stupid. See, again, so much of that involves discounting our existence, and I refuse to do that. I'm not some program. I'm alive. You know, I might be alive inside this thing that we're in, but I'm alive. Sorry about that. You are too egotistical. Yeah, too egotistical.
Well, you have to understand.
I'm the
You're
one that
coming
keeps
at
saying, I'm
him-
smarter than everybody. Yeah, that's me. That's egotistical. Because I don't just accept what you're saying. That makes me egotistical. Gotcha.
Not to
Anyway.
mention, you're not bringing a new opinion or concept. Like, you're coming to somebody that has been researching this for years and has, looked at all angles, entertained all arguments, so if he sounds like confident in what he's saying, it's because he's looked into all of that. He's
Confidence.
considered all of that.
Confidence and arrogance are two different things. Arrogance is the guy that comes onto the feed and goes, I'm smarter than everybody. I have 153 IQ. I'm the best. I'm smarter. That's arrogant, egotistical shit. Somebody saying, man, I don't necessarily believe you because you're that kind of egotistical douche. That's not egotistical. That's confident. I'm actually confident that we don't really know shit. We might have some ideas, but so I'm watching this MMA video, right? And it's not about the fights. It's about, it was called like the times, the top 10 times predictions came true or whatever. And a lot of it is about behind the scenes bullshit. And it's really interesting when you start to look and you realize like Jews control every aspect of MMA from the highest levels down. And yet Jews don't fight. They never fought. There's no Jew fighters that are champions or anything like that. There's one guy, Edmund Shabazian or some shit, that was touted as being the next big thing, and then he got his shit kicked in. He was Ronda Rousey's bitch. It's okay if I prove it. Yeah. You can't prove anything. You're dumb. It's just... Again, these are all things that we can talk about. Like, we can figure out the shape of the earth after we overthrow the Jews that are committing genocide. Because it's the same people committing the genocide that also are the keepers of the information. And that's the problem, is people just, it's like we allow ourselves to be distracted by so many nonsensical things that like a lot of it doesn't even exist. Everybody is distracted by germs and COVID and all this other bullshit. Part of the video that I was watching, they were talking about how one of the things that blew UFC up is that during COVID, when all of the other sports shut down, the UFC was the only one willing to take the risk and keep going. But the thing is, it's only a risk if there are casualties. There were no casualties. There were no casualties of the fight game where people, they ended up getting the COVID and dying, even though all the other sports shut down, but UFC kept going, and because of that, COVID, blah, blah, blah. There's no football players, no baseball players. Really, nobody famous died except for like old people like Harold Kane and shit, who apparently, Harold Kane died a couple of weeks before Trump got COVID, then got the therapeutic that made him immune to COVID. For how long, he doesn't know. Could be a day, could be a week, could be forever. But he's immune to COVID. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yep. You're going to prove it by telling me to watch something. Okay. Because I haven't watched things before. Because I don't base my entire thing on common sense. I keep asking you the simplest question. What is on the outside? What is underneath us? If we are on the inside of a ball, what is on the outside of said ball? That is just stupid. It can help, yeah. I don't need any help. I don't believe it, so it doesn't matter. And even if like it doesn't matter what your thing says. The way I believe, it doesn't actually exist. No, nobody else is talking about the thing I'm talking about. I mean, maybe there are some scattered people who have been censored as well, but Concave Earth is a huge community. Concave Earth videos aren't getting taken down by YouTube, none of that shit. We are allowed to be distracted by Concave Earth, just like we're allowed to be distracted by Flat Earth. To a degree, I mean, good luck trying to find 200 proofs the Earth is not a spinning ball on YouTube. If you put that in your title, you're gonna get a whole bunch of videos that debunk it, which they don't. They just talk shit. But speaking of Flat Earth, we haven't talked about Brian Mullen in a long time. This is an Xbox. Yep. Okay, dude. It's a tiny community. Okay, dude. Like, this guy is just stupid and keeps repeating himself. And he says stupid things. And then okay, yep, we're in an Xbox. Gotcha.
What was Trump's quote? Grab her by the pussy. What was that?
Grab her by the pussy.
What, in regards to what?
That he, in the position of power that he's in, that they were in, him and Billy Bush, that women just throw themselves in. He could grab them by the pussy and they wouldn't care.
Thank you.
I answered your question. Hundreds of yep, you didn't answer shit. You didn't do anything, but okay. You know, the only thing that we're not allowed to talk about is the Jews. And I do say, again, try to find the 200 proofs and you won't find it. You'll find a bunch of debunk videos. But that's how this thing works. That's how it all works. The real U.S. exists outside the ball. Oh, okay. That's not an answer. It's not an answer. That's just dumb. It's more stupidity. It's so frustrating, man. It is. It's frustrating. Of course that dude's trolling. Like, I get a bunch of them. Miss Bob Roach. They're always, if you're telling the truth, you're going to get trolls coming in trying to distract, proving how stupid, say, Trump supporters are, or how stupid Israel supporters are, or Jews are just in general. They're always going to be in here. Like this Charlie, or this Charlie Jones character. That female, like, I have to be a Kamala supporter because they're a dumb Trump supporter. I have to support the other side. I can't be smart enough to call the whole thing out because she's not. But because she falls for Trump, I must fall for Kamala. Like, this is the stupidity. And I say this every video. If you take anything from this video, the random people that are watching, understand this works in every situation. If you're in any sort of argument or debate with someone and they start arguing their own narrative, they don't address the things that you're saying and they just start saying stupid things like, oh, you're a Kamala supporter, when you clearly are like, no, I don't support either side. Like that, you take that with you wherever you go. That's just how stupid people operate. And they're always going to operate like that. They always operate that way. It's the strangest like symptom of stupidity. But it's just it's what it is. You're on an Xbox, a pre-coded. Yep. Okay. Yeah. See, that's what I mean. Those are answers to the questions. This is your brain on Kamala. And I know a lot of them are trolls, believe me. But I also respond to what they're saying at times because I know there are other real people that might think the same way or think I'm scared to answer their shit. So I do acknowledge it. But after a minute, you just let it run because like the guy did yesterday. If you let them talk, like John Short from yesterday, the Jew, they're going to acknowledge that they're pedos. like John Short did yesterday. This Charlie Jones, she supports pedophilia. You know, these guys all this is this weird pedo troll group that you know, I'm the guy that openly says the United States needs to cut off Israel and use that $3.8 billion a year plus to go after pedophiles. When you understand that's my mission statement, that's what I stand behind. And then you understand that there are trolls in here trying to stop me, trying to interfere. You have to ask yourself, what the hell is their motivation? What motivates somebody to get mad at the guy saying stop using U.S. money, U.S. tax dollars, to give it to Israel so they can kill people, and instead use that money to quell this fucking tremendous pedophilia problem? Right? What a lost soul. Yep. See now, so real people, when you even hint that they might be a pedophile, they get mad. They'll deny it, and then they'll call you out on it. Charlie Jones doesn't say anything. Charlie Jones is going to consistently try to shoot the messenger. Try to make the person thinking, you know, that might be watching, might be on the fence, think, oh, what a loss. Yeah, that's it. That's the excuse I need to not listen to what this guy's saying. But normal people deny it. Normal people deny being pedophiles. But that's it. That's what I'm dealing with. And when you understand that Jewish religion is very conducive to pedophilia, you understand where it all, like, I always say it, logistics destroy everything. Once you start questioning the logistics of things, you'll find the situation to be a lot more than you anticipated. Like, remember how day or two before they read the Breonna Taylor verdict, the military was there setting up all the barricades and all that. And you think, okay, so we don't even know what the verdict is, but the military has already, the logistics of it, to say, okay, we're going to plan this out, then we're going to bring all these troops in, we're going to house these troops, we're going to feed these troops, we're going to transport these troops. And you know, we got to build these barricades and we got to do all this shit before we even know what's going to happen. Then compare it to October 6th, or January 6th, January 7th, January 6th, I don't know. When the insurrection took place and all these white people attacked the Capitol building and there were no police, no military, nothing in sight. Look, bitch ass Donald Trump is here. Pedophile Donald Trump is here. Can you imagine if Donald Trump actually sat on YouTube? Jew puppet Donald Trump. Piece of shit Donald Trump. Ask yourself, how come you've never seen someone like me? If anti-Semitism, like we see all these commercials all the time. Take a time out on hate. Hate. We got to stop the hate. They got this new commercial, a timeout on hate. Shaq's in it. All these guys, these athletes, timeout on hate. Doc Rivers, this is the most important timeout I've ever. And it's all this stuff that's pointed at Jews and like how we could protect the Jews. Oh, nobody ever bothers to question why the Jews are so hated. Why have the Jews been kicked out of 100 countries in the last 1,000 years? According to the history they give us. Do you ever ask these questions? Or do you just go, I shouldn't talk about the Jews because they say I shouldn't? Everybody knows the Jews control the money, the power, and the control. They have all the control. They control the money, the power, the government, all that shit. Entertainment. And yet, when it comes to, okay, hey, there's a problem in this world, and it's because those same Jews that control everything make it that way, we go, hey, don't say that. Can't say that. They have you believing, someone like me saying Jews have all of the money, the power, and the control, that is somehow a slur. That's a slur. Could you imagine if some asshole came up to you in the street and was like, man, you look like you have lots of money, power, and control. You'd be like, motherfucker, and hit him right in the face right then, right? How dare you say such a horrible thing about me? It's stupid. They require us to be stupid. That's why there's that dumbing down that we all sort of talk about. But then again, when you point it out, everybody gets mad. The same people that will complain about dumbing us down will say, you know, you're Y-O-U-R stupid. And then if you point it out, hey, you got the yours, it's Y-O-U apostrophe R-E stupid. They're like, so? So it doesn't matter if I use the wrong word. So? It's fucking crazy. But as always, you know, if I'm wrong, there are 9 people here. Either 9 people agree with me or 9 people think I'm wrong. I know the Charlie Jones character still hasn't denied being a pedophile. How many real people watching would let someone like me call them a pedophile and wouldn't say a fucking word about it? That's a strange thing, don't you think? To those that aren't pedophiles and don't support pedophiles, that is the worst thing you can do. That's you know, we all think if you fucking touch a kid, you should be killed. Why do all of us think that way, and yet that's not how our system works? The Jews that we've elected to represent us, why don't they do that? I mean, it's pretty self-evident, right? If you weren't guilty of that shit, you would support the death of pedophiles. But if you're worried that your shit's going to get, you know, you're going to get exposed, you go, well, maybe we shouldn't just kill them. Maybe we should send them to prayer camp. But as always, it's you know, the ultimate weapon they have is our ignorance. We're ignorant. We're stupid on purpose. They've made us stupid. You know, do you know how many people claim to believe in the Bible, claim to be Christians, and you go, okay, so tell me the first thing God did. After God turns on the light, what's the very first thing God does? Most of them don't know, have no idea. Well, I'm not very good at the scriptures part. Oh, well then, you're not very good at it. Logistics, man. The logistics always blow things away. You claim to believe in something and you don't know anything about it? You know, like cursory bullshit? And then at the same time, you'll be like, no, the Bible is against homosexuals, so I'm against, it's not me. I'm not some dumb bigot. I just support the Bible. Okay? I believe in the Bible. And it's like, so the whole Sodom and Gomorrah thing, and they're like, yeah, Bible clearly says it's wrong. You have no idea what Sodom and Gomorrah says. It's just, it's amazing. It's the arrogant ignorance that's just everywhere. They know you're wrong. They know they're right, but they don't know how or why. And then, you know, I get all these people all the time that act like, you know, have you read the Bible? Have you even read it? Yeah, dude. I don't believe in it because I haven't read it. I don't think it's all a bunch of shit because not because I've read it and I realize it's a bunch of shit. Because I'm just saying that for the fun of it. Just making myself a pariah and making my life harder because fucking A. I haven't bothered to figure out why. You haven't bothered to know why you do think that way, so I must not have bothered to learn why I don't, right? Just same stupid nonsense. I mean, it's stupidity. And then people get mad. You know, you want to talk to people and stuff, but then you start throwing out words like stupid. Well, I don't know what else to call it. If somebody came up to you as an adult and was like, no, dude, there's a fucking Santa Claus, for real. I stayed up real late and I heard some hoof prints on my ceiling and everything, but then I just passed out at the last second. And when I woke up, there were presents there. You'd be like, shut up, stupid. You know?
Did you look at this post, Leo? Or I'll go tag you in?
No. It's always some long ass video that I'm supposed to pick something out of. You know, I know me, and I know, like, I know I encourage it. If you think I'm wrong, I encourage you to say so. And I look at, like, any sort of argument as like sharpening my swords, you know? If you can engage with me and whatnot, then that's good practice. Because you're not the real fight. I mean, the real fight comes if they ever do decide to put me in as, like, why haven't they done that? Why hasn't there been a me, someone like me? You know, I've reached out to many, many news organizations and offered to be the bad guy. I'll be the bad guy. I'll come in and say all the stuff about Jews, all the misconceptions, and then you guys just have your expert panel make me look stupid. How about that? And then from now on, you have a video that anybody can just revert back to. Hey, you think bad about the Jews? Well, that guy said a lot of the same things. Go watch that. Watch how they destroy his arguments. Seems like a really reasonable thing. Seems like it would be a pretty big show. Seems like it'd be something they could milk and keep showing, and would start a dialogue that, again, if you're the right, if you're in the right, like I believe I am, you would want that. If you're the Jews and you're claiming you're the most wrongfully persecuted people in the world and everyone just hates you for no reason and all this stuff, then let somebody come explain those reasons and see how valid they are. Who sides with the side that refuses to argue? Who sides with the side that refuses to, Seriously, this entire time, the whole Kamala versus Trump thing, I have seen at the very least, I've seen the Kamala side not just point out a bunch of negative shit that Trump's done, but also, put forth some policies and some ideas and some platforms that they're going to change and things like that, taxing this, blah, blah, blah. I've seen them at least try to convince us that there's something real going on there. Literally the only commercial I ever see for Trump is the heavily edited Kamala wants sex changes for transgender inmates. That's the only thing that they say. They keep trying to act like the border, too, is like some war zone. And it's just 15,000 criminals and 13,000 rapists and all this. Like these are all just, these are dumb, impractical things that you can't even really quantify. And they're just sort of relying on your racism and your sexism and whatnot to and if you look at it like from like it's a rerun, and you go, okay, so Donald Trump is running against a much more qualified female who does nothing but point out like the fucking horrible truth about Trump. The media and like the A side seems to support the female, while the B side is this idiot, you know. It's generally these idiots, but they're doing their best to try to make you think black people are really like. Why does Trump keep getting guys like Charlemagne and I don't know T-Pain or whoever, the Le'Veon Bell and all of these people of color? Why do these people of color keep getting these huge bonuses to come pretend like they support Trump? Who are they trying to appeal to? But you're basically seeing this situation play out that, the only arguments are the border and, oh, Hillary's been in office for a long time and what has she done? And if she, all of the same shit. It's like they had to set it up because this was the only way Trump could successfully do it, because he's so dumb and he's so rigid that he like he said, I'm only going to tell the story about the shooting once, because he knows he can't get the details right every time. But what ended up happening is that female won the election by 2.7 million votes. And for the third time in history, well, in the modern history, the Electoral College stepped in and said, no. The person with the most votes is not the winner. Can't let California decide the election. Yet 2020, we were fine picking it. 2012, we were fine. 2008, we were fine. But, 2000 and 2004, we needed the Electoral College to step in. And then again in 2016. Not with Clinton, not with Bush 1, not with Reagan, not with Ford, with Carter, with Ford, with Kennedy. Nope. Nixon, none, nope. So the reality is, it absolutely doesn't matter if you vote or not. It really doesn't. I don't know why people fall for it. And I've been doing this a lot lately, and I keep bringing this up. I haven't had a single Trump supporter address the fact that he lost the election in 2016 by 2.7 million votes, and the swamp put him in anyway. Not a single person. They don't even attempt to answer that one. They just start saying other stupid shit. Why? I don't even support Kamala, and I can make arguments for Kamala. I have no idea why stupid, especially poor, stupid white people fall for Trump.
So somebody put in a post about Trump. Hold on, I'll find it. Asking, because somebody else made some racist comments, and during a Trump rally, and Trump is claiming, "Oh, I didn't hear those comments were made. I didn't hear it." Instead of saying, "I don't."
It's exactly the same thing, right? It's just like the pedophiles not denying being pedophiles.
What she said, him sitting there not doing anything about it is supporting it.
What do you want me to say? Stand back and stand down and stand by?
So hold on, I'll find it. So this one lady came back and said, "Well, he's got my vote." And I asked her, like, how? You're a woman. He hates you. He thinks you're a second-class citizen here to serve him and the likes of him.
And make as many babies as you can possibly get pregnant.
He's taken women's rights back 50 fucking years. He hates women, anybody of color or people not born privileged. What about it? What about him do you like? So I'm waiting to hear what she's. I'm sure I'm about to get slammed by a lot of people. Where the hell is that post? Hold on. I'll find it.
Just go to your fucking notifications. Somebody's probably already commented on it.
They haven't. I just did it.
And really, what are they gonna say?
Did somebody take the post down?
No. What could they say? Like, that's the thing. I have been doing this for a very long time. The only thing Trump people say is immigration, the economy, and there were no more wars. They're foreign wars.
She says, I believe when someone speaking on your behalf makes racist and hurtful comments, and you do and say nothing to disparage those comments, it must be that you believe in them. Donald Trump said he didn't hear the comments made by Tony Hinchcliffe Alley on October 25th. I will be generous and give him that, but he most certainly heard about them after. Yet still nothing has been said by Trump himself. And of course, Vance says people are too sensitive. Kind of like school shootings are just a fact of life. In my opinion, people who sow divisiveness should not be in charge of anything, especially not in charge of the United States. It's already 190 comments on the post. So the one that where'd she say? He's got my vote. Jeanette Rennie. You realize he looks at you and all women, people of color, and those not born with privilege as second-class citizens who don't deserve rights and are here to serve him and the likes of him, right? He's the same person that said he would grab them by the pussy and it wouldn't matter, referencing women. He's the same man that took women back half a century as it pertains to our rights and brags about it. I could go on, but it's clearly falling on brainwashed ears. It always fascinates me to see a woman or person of color support a man that despises them. And most people are saying he's a piece of shit. But there's still so many that read that post. I'll vote for him. He's better than Biden. Biden makes racist comments all the time, and he got voted in.
Biden never made any racist comments.
I had never heard of any racist comments. Maybe he does behind closed doors.
The thing that Biden always gets in trouble for is there was this thing back in the 80s, maybe it's the 90s, I don't know. But he was reading this thing
40 years ago,
where he was like, and you call them niggers and this and that. Like he was quoting what somebody else had said.
And they take it out of context.
And they take it out of context.
You mean like transgenders are going to have sex change operations in prison?
I think all transgenders should have access. That's the end of it. Then we don't get to hear what she says after that.
Well, Trump tells us what she says. And she says that transgender inmates will have access to sex change operations while they're
and then you have like all these Charlemagne, I don't want my tax dollars. Right. Because I know that in prison, taxpayer funded sex changes are this really common thing. Really, really common thing. Like it's so insultingly stupid. And it's such there's a reason why Pride Month is in June. Because it's the month after Passover. And Passover is when the Jews really like to kill people. Really like to kill Arabs. So while there'll always be this huge increase in how the Jews kill Arabs over Passover, it's almost immediately gobbled up by any sort of pride shit. Usually it's the same dumb story about the drag queen reading a book to a bunch of children at a school.
Did you see
the same story that's been going for like 12 years?
Did you see that meme I sent you?
If the dinosaurs pedophile groomers are supposed to be in there, if the dangerous pedophile groomers are supposed to be in there, Why do we keep finding them in here? Right. The church. I mean, there's a truther out there. His name's Kenny Bartholomew. And Kenny's a guy I knew back in the early 2000s when I was out in Cali. And my girlfriend at the time had a friend. And her cousin was Kenny. And me and my girlfriend always thought Kenny and his his cousin, something weird had happened between them. Something. They acted like a couple. And they would get jealous of each other and shit. It was really weird. And I heard some really negative things about Kenny that because I can't necessarily confirm them, I don't repeat them. But I just heard them. And so 5 years ago, maybe, I don't know. My Facebook feed was allowed to be a big feed. I was allowed to get thousands of views, blah, blah, blah. And so I so Kenny, he was a truther and whatnot, and he'd been doing it for a while, and apparently he had stumbled across one of my videos, recognized me, and was like, oh shit, reached out to me. So him and I start talking, and personally, Kenny's the best male salesman I'd ever met. He was just he was a good-looking dude, blonde hair, blue eyes, got the little star tattoos on his shoulders, and he's such a like cookie cutter pretty boy kind of guy, And Kenny got all the chicks. I don't. Again, I don't deny or talk shit when the shit isn't necessary. Kenny's a good looking dude. And I thought for sure I could use that to my advantage. Like, he's a great salesman. He's a good looking guy. Hey, dude, you ever thought of being a manager? And he was like, yeah, actually. And we were in talks about him maybe taking over the management role of my band. And right around that time, there was this comic book store in Denver decided that they were going to do a drag show for any little kids that wanted to do the drag show. And so Kenny and some of his cronies donned the Guy Fawkes mask and went to this event where they yelled horrible things at the parents and the kids as they came in their scary Guy Fawkes masks. I mean, imagine 5, 6, 7-year-olds going to something like you have to figure nobody's making their kid do the drag show. Anybody that argues that kind of shit doesn't have kids. It's just that simple. There's no fucking way. I don't care how old my kids were. If I would have said, hey, I'm going to put you in a dress and you're going to go into this drag show and walk up and down the runway like a girl, they'd have been like, no. No. My kids were little boys who, like, my one kid literally would wake up in the morning and put on his Hulk costume. And he'd wear it all day long. And they'd hit stuff with sticks. And they just did boy stuff. Nobody told them to do boy stuff. They just did boy stuff. So the idea that this show, obviously enough parents came up to them and said, hey, there's nothing for my kid. My kid, I already can tell he's gay. He loves the fashion. He loves the runway. Like, when he saw that on TV, he thought that was a good thing. So is there any way, it's not like kids like that have after school programs where they can, go be gay for a while. No. They're supposed to play football. They're supposed to do karate. They're supposed to do shit like that. So for this comic book store in Denver, in this like area, this like very multicultural, very large gay population area of Denver, like this really progressive area, decides they're going to do the drag show. And I commend that shit, man. Like, I sure hope they screen everyone who comes in there. But, you know, I mean, I never saw Kenny Bartholomew at a Pee Wee football game worried about the kids. I never saw a Kenny Bartholomew at a little girl beauty pageant worried about the kids. Yet he's at this place and he's yelling all these horrible things to these parents and these kids who, when you look and they zoom in, you can see these people are horrified. They're horrified. They were just trying to be good parents. And I can tell you this, if at some point when my kid was little, if they were obviously gay and they wanted to do something like that, I would have absolutely let them. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I encourage my kid to be the best him, shim, he, she, thee, they, whatever, that they want to be? And so Kenny makes this video and he's all proud of it. And he posts it and then he reaches out, dude, check out this video I made, blah, blah, sends it. So I watch it and I'm horrified. And I reach out to him and I'm like, hey, dude, I don't think this video puts you in the light you think it does. He's like, what do you mean? There's the transgender agenda and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh. So you believe in the
purpose of that?
You believe in the transgender agenda? Absolutely, dude. Absolutely, bro. And I'm like, all right, so I don't. And what would be really great, I don't want us to get into it now. I'd much rather, would you come on my live feed in the morning and we'll talk about it? And I want it to be an organic conversation. I don't want us to have the conversation and then try again to have the conversation tomorrow morning. I want us to be, organic. And he was like, oh, yeah, bro. Okay, bro. I was like, all right, cool. So tomorrow morning, I'll message you before I go live. You then come to the live, and we'll talk about it. You're respectful, I'm respectful. We like each other. It's not going to go out of hand, right? Yeah. No, yeah. He always, yeah. That was his thing. Yeah. Next day, wake up, ready to go live. I look at Kenny's messenger. It says, available now or whatever it says. He's on right now. Sending the message, bro, let's go. I'm getting ready. Come on. I'm going to go live. Go live. Tag him in the feed. Hey, man, come on, let's do this. And wait. And he never shows up. And I gave him plenty of time, like I always do. Never shows up. So I do my feed, whatever, and talk my plenty of shit. And when I go back to his page after the fact, he's now also posted this 15-second clip of it looks like it's Brazil, I think. It's a younger looking person in some Daisy Dukes, clearly all fucked up. Like you can see from the bad quality of the camera, and the fit, you could still tell the kid's all fucked up. And he's dancing and he's got these booty shorts on and he does the splits, and it's like a 15-second clip. You don't know the context of the clip. You don't know if that happens to be one of those 25-year-olds that looks like they're fucking 17. I know when I was in my early 20s and shit, I could have easily passed. So I go on the feed and I comment like, dude, I say those, this is 15 seconds. You have no idea what the context of this is. You don't know who that person is, how old they really are. You don't know anything. Why are you being such a bigot? And I get attacked by some of his woke friends. And then after a minute, like I end up getting blocked. And he never comes in. This guy's supposed to be my friend. And all it was me disagreeing that some sort of, there's a transgender agenda. That has to be one of the dumbest distractions they've ever given us. Like, it's just so stupid. Especially the idea that all of the characters in Hollywood that are men are actually women, and the women are actually men. There was this Mariska chick that used to come on the YouTube. And she's buddies with Jesse Howell, who is a bigot piece of shit himself. All of you who are familiar with the channel, The Missing Link, the radio show, The Missing Link. You know, this guy that's supposedly this open truther who's trying to figure out things, asked me why I insist on talking about the Jews when I know it's going to make people mad at me. What? Since when is that criteria for us not talking about something? People getting mad about it. But when I started doing the lives on here, going from Facebook to here, because Facebook has just been completely shut down. Mariska was one of the first people on here, and apparently she knew me from Facebook as well. And she was a big supporter at first. And she was all excited because she was about to go into Jesse Howell, because she's somebody who holds seminars and whatnot to train people, everyday people, how they can look at Hollywood people and figure out whether they're a man or not. So you could tell by the earlobes, and you could tell by the Adam's apples, and you could tell, like, all these dumb things. And I immediately, I was like, you fucking serious right now? Oh yeah, no, that's immediately I become the bad guy because I don't just believe what you're saying, and I'm making points to the contrary. But instead of, addressing the points being made, you're just getting mad. Probably because you can't address the points being made. Okay. And so at one point I'm like, what are you even talking about? Like, why? Let's just say this was true. Let's just say at some point this little baby boy is born. Oh, he's so cute. And the government finds him and looks at him and goes, okay, that little boy is going to grow up and we can make him into Beyonce. He's going to be able to sing. He's going to be able to dance. He's going to be all super talented like that and write songs and all that shit. Have that big fat ass and blah, blah, blah. But that's actually a boy. We know that boy will become Beyonce. We know that little boy will grow up to be unbelievably beautiful Megan Fox. Yep, that makes sense. Yep. And I said, so let's just say they could do that, right? What would be the point? She said, because it makes me gay. If I think an actor is a hot dude, and it turns out that's actually a chick, I'm gay now. Like, what? If that is the conspiracy, and nobody ever finds out, they never actually leak it. You never know that the person was actually a dude that was supposed to be this hot chick. What does it fucking matter? It's like how with Obama, you never heard this kind of blatant disrespect or anything before, but it's because the first lady wasn't a woman of color. But the Joan Rivers bullshit. Joan Rivers comes out, says, everybody knows Michelle is a man and Obama's gay. Everybody knows Michelle is a man and Obama is a gay man. Everybody knows that. And so that sparks the whole conspiracy that to this day, nobody said anything like that before. Joan says it, and then she's killed during surgery, which she absolutely was killed during surgery. Joan Rivers was going down for a routine plastic surgery, as far as she's concerned, when government doctors showed up, kicked everyone out, supposedly did the procedure, but then Joan died, and those government doctors have never been held responsible or anything. Like, really kind of a strange situation. But let's just say it was true. If the reality was Michelle was actually a man and Obama was a gay dude, so what would that matter? If you're mad because they lied, well, they had to. Too much bigotry, too much stupidity in our society for them to be honest. So, but it's just stupid. It's funny. Only the black couple experienced that, and yet at the same time, Jackie O was considered one of the most beautiful women in the world. Ugh.
She was ugly.
She looked like she had iguana eyes. Like they worked independently of each other and they could see all around. They were so far apart. She looked so inbred.
Yes, that's what it looked like.
And it's like, that is not an attractive look. She's not attractive. Kind of understand. Kind of understand why Kennedy was all about that Marilyn Monroe, who was actually a dude, probably. You know, right?
But she was such a classy dresser. Yeah, money does that.
Marilyn Monroe was 100% fake.
Oh, I meant that.
Oh.
She's known
Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis.
Classy, graceful woman there was, because she was so impeccably dressed at all times.
Because everything about her was manufactured.
Right.
She went to every single proper school, so a lady knows how to walk and knows how to sit. And, oh, she's a lady. Who decided all of that?
Personal shoppers that would pick out her outfits.
Not personal shoppers that pick out her outfit. She has a coordinated crew of Jews who tell her exactly what to wear, where to wear it, you know, how to wear it, all that. I mean, eventually, when she gets out of the first lady role, sure. And then she marries the Onassis guy who's like way older than she is. But she becomes this basically like a god. She becomes so wealthy that, you know, it's not like she's helping people with that wealth. They're just, it's just.
The people that we have chosen to fawn all over. Princess Diana. What the fuck did she do? I mean, granted.
She was real big in the, like, I don't know. I think as far as the characters go, Diana was made to be one of the more compassionate characters. But
more relatable in a crazy, distant way, I guess.
Right. It's not like she ever.
Riches type, but
it's not like she came out and was like, yeah, this whole place is full of these fucking inbred skunk snakes who, you know, she didn't do anything like that. She was just playing a role.
But she's revered.
Absolutely. But any of them, all of them.
That's what I'm saying.
They're all revered. No, not just, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the monarchy of the Brits, the British monarchy, is revered here. My mother-in-law and sister-in-law, let one of them little fuckers have a kid or get married. Or my mother-in-law and sister, they're all about it. They will watch. If the TV decides they're going to do 24-hour coverage, they're watching the entire time they're awake.
And yet, growing up, Mom was never like that. So it's like strange to me when I see her. Oh, we watched the wedding, and oh, we're gonna watch the funeral of the Queen. What?
Why?
When have you ever? She's never. So this fascination, it's been since my sister became an adult, really.
But it's brainwashing. I mean, but when we were kids, that wasn't the thing like it is. I mean, Princess Diana sort of was, but we weren't told to care about it like we are now.
And there wasn't as much.
There wasn't the media coverage.
Yeah, we didn't have the coverage. Like, we didn't get the inside look of the royals like we do now.
Well, we don't. We don't get any sort of inside look. The the crazy part is what we do see. These fuckers riding around in a gold chariot. A chariot made of gold? What if we melted that down and gave all that money?
In our country?
Right, gave all that money to the poor people. Would that be better than them riding around in a chariot made of gold? I think so.
Can you just take that crown off and you can feed all of Texas with it, please?
I mean, it's stupid.
Because you have like 300 other crowns back at your castle that you could choose from.
A lot of which were stolen.
Oh, yeah. Almost all of them were stolen.
You know, a lot of that shit has just been stolen over the years from all the different countries. And now, as we're in this PC time, these countries are like, hey, can we get our stuff back? And they're like, no.
No.
Fucking no. What are you, crazy?
Finders keepers. We stole it fair and square.
We stole it. You know.
Whether it's the stones inside of it or the workers that were, enslaved to create it.
No, literally, the artifacts were made in part of other countries. Part of other countries' dynasties and legacies and whatnot. And they just stole it. You know, I'm like, no, that's ours now. I mean, it's all so incredible. Like, it's incredible. A king, we allow kings, we allow this notion that this family is born better than the rest of us. They're blue bloods. They're supposed to live off of our toil.
What?
Right.
Says who?
They do.
Self-proclaimed.
Right. They say it.
And we all fucking follow around along with it. Like history.
Like it's not just follow it. It's part of like national identity.
The history of the different monarchies, the different kings, they're all, for the most part, terrible.
Terrible.
Brutal.
Yeah.
So why are we...
This king is in charge because their family came and assassinated a whole entire other family.
So why are we still supporting and perpetuating this horrible program that has such an awful history to it?
I mean, America.
Right, I'm just going to say, kind of like our country.
America the Great.
Well, it's not great anymore. We have to make it great.
We have to make it great again because it was great at some other point in history. You know, when there were less rights for people of color, women, gays.
Exactly.
Like, nobody calls that out.
Right, because that's exactly what he's saying.
That's all he's saying.
Let's take it back to the 50s where white men rule everything and everybody else serves us.
Where you could just walk by and smack a chick on the ass and she can't do anything about it. I think about that. Like, I can't imagine just smacking some random chick on the ass.
What you would want being a secretary in the education system, administrative assistant, she used to get smacked on the ass and had to shut up and take it.
Yeah. I just can't imagine wanting to subjugate people like that. I can't imagine like being given a position of power. But see, look at your Bible. Right? You believe, like, when you look at Revelations is the dumbest bunch of shit ever. But when you look at what the description of God is like in Revelations, and how, you know, I gazed upon the throne where God was sitting, and around him there were creatures, and their whole they would say, "Oh Lord, oh Lord, 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 you are the best. Everything you do is the best, and you're so smart and awesome." And that's what they would just say over and over for all of eternity. That God is such a shallow being that it has to have a throne made of gold, and it has to have multiple groups of people surrounding it, telling it how awesome it is all the time. Do you know how fucking stupid that is? If I create the thing to tell me how great I am, it doesn't have any other options. That's all it can do. then how does what it says have any sort of fucking value? They love making the redhead the high priced escort in all these shows. For some reason. The high priced escort. Always the redhead.
With 3 networks to enjoy. Showtime.
You're gonna want to see this.
It's on Ion Plus and Ion Mystery.
It's so interesting to me. I have 6 people watching. Not a single person has even an opinion. I assume people think I'm wrong, but y'all don't even have an opinion. How do you not have an opinion on the things being said? These are the top trending sort of topics. Israel is the #1 story in the world. The Jewish conspiracy. You know, the royals are Jews. The Saxe-Urs. German Jews. Came into the UK and just sort of assumed the identity of the royals of Windsor. And then they've just been that way since. You know, they don't like those videos of a young Princess Elizabeth doing the Hitler salute. But again, what you guys don't realize is that even when she was a little girl, 1934, there's a series of cards called the Gallery of 34, 1934, I believe. But it's like this set of cards, and it had one card's Hitler, one card's Don Bradman, who's a cricketer. One card is a famous band guy. I can't remember his name right off the head. But like, one of the cards is a maybe 5, 6, 7-year-old Princess Elizabeth. Why? Personally, I think the Queen died much earlier than September 10th. But I think they wanted that 9/11 cover-up story, so they just waited until September 10th to announce her death. And even if they did it on September 11th, that would sort of give more credence to September 11th. But doing it on September 10th means it overrides it. It's celebrated first, and it overrides what September 11th could be. But why do you guys like it? I mean, again, 14 people, 11 people, whatever. None of you have an opinion, especially when it comes to the Jews. Especially when it comes to Israel and shit like that. Like, it's so crazy to me, because one of the tricks they've done is to get us focused on Israel. Instead of us focusing on the Jews, instead of all these free Palestine movements, like again, it's not free Palestine. Look at what they're literally doing. They're attacking Lebanon. They're attacking Syria. They're attacking Iran. Clearly, it's not Palestine. Clearly, the slogan, the phrase should be end Israel, and even more so, end Judaism. It's the Jews. And if I'm wrong, I should not be allowed to say that. I should be allowed to have this opinion, and if I'm wrong, then people will come in and tell me what I'm wrong about and fix that opinion. That's how our self-policing society works. At least in theory. But where is everybody? Go ask your parents. Go ask your grandparents. Do the Jews control the world? And like, if you're in the right circumstances where nobody can hear them, they'll say yes, but you're not allowed to say that. We all know they control things. Why does every country, almost every country, especially every Western country, give Israel money every single year? billions and billions of dollars every year. Why? They're a first world country. They don't, and really all they do is murder people. There's no great innovations coming out of Israel. What, the great innovation of the Pegasus software that allows the government to access any of our phones or any of our electronic devices, whether it's on or not, that's good. And then also provides Israel a backdoor into all those things too. Anybody that bought the software from Israel then allowed Israel into their own country's bullshit. What about Project Nimbus? Shit literally happening right now, where Google and Amazon have multi-billion-dollar contracts with the Israeli military. For what? The Israelis brag that this situation has been logistically helpful in killing people, in killing Palestinians. But the Google and Amazon, who have a strict policy against anything negative, against their stuff being used against anything, they say, oh, no, they're just using our technology for analytics to crunch numbers and stuff. Well, who's telling the truth? Israel that's bragging? Or the Amazon that's like, shut up, don't worry about it. Shh, shh, shh. One of the keys to the contract is that Amazon and Google aren't allowed to dictate who in the Israeli military, in the Israeli corporation, uses the tech. So if the military, the sniper groups, whatever, want to use the tech, Google can't say, no, you can't use that. That's happening right now. Team Jorge. Just one of numerous black ops, Israeli covert black ops programs that, they're under no name. They're extremely well funded and staffed by ex-Israeli soldiers and whatnot, Israeli higher ups. Team Jorge was ran by a guy called Tal Hanan, who was Israeli Secret Service. And Team Jorge, Jorge, was exposed by multiple media outlets working together from France, from the UK, from one other place, can't remember. And they exposed this whole thing. This group that bragged that they've interfered in 33 elections over the last few years and were successful in 27 of them. One of which is probably the 2016 election that the system tells us Russia interfered with. Russia interfered with the 2016 election in ways they can't show us, and with no proof or whatever, but they tell us it happened and it was in support of Trump. But Trump didn't win the election anyway, so what does it matter? At the same time, you have shit like IPAC, which is a PAC, a private a private donation group, but these are Israeli super PACs. So like a PAC is allowed to only donate so much money to a campaign, but a super PAC, they're allowed to donate immeasurably more. And what's been shown repeatedly, they even brag about it, is that the Israelis don't really care what the American representatives' policies are here in the States. All they care about is how sympathetic they are towards Israel. And so whichever candidate is more pro-Israel, you have this IPAC sinking more money into the campaign by itself than the opponent's entire finance budget. And there's all these super PACs that are contributing to these ones. So just one of them is outspending the other one. The opponent's entire campaign. Imagine if they have 10 or 15, 20 of these contributing to them. And they brag about it. They talk about it. Team Jorge was exposed. No. You guys don't realize Israel bought 42,000 Indian slaves. They called them supervised laborers, but they were earmarked 38,000 for construction jobs. The other 4,000 were earmarked for elderly care. You notice how Israel, who has been steadily killing their workforce for the last year, the Palestinians are the ones that do all the construction jobs, that do the elderly care, that do all the jobs that the Israelis don't want to do. And yet somehow, since October 7th, there's been zero disruption. And it just so happens to work out that Israel has killed right around 42,000, on record, 42,000 people. Gosh, that's strange, isn't it? They happen to buy the exact same amount of people that they've killed. And they did that early in 2023. That makes sense, doesn't it? No, they did it early 2022. Sorry, early 2022. Again, at one point my video had 15 watchers. Now we've been whittled down to 1. I'm doing nothing but giving you facts, and yet nobody has an opinion either way. Isn't that strange? How come there's never any Israelis, any government, anybody, anything that just comes in and answers the questions and puts me in my place, and then I don't have that power anymore? Once all the things that I've talked about get exposed as lies, then what recourse do I have? I have to stop. Nope. Never happens. Somebody tell me what I'm getting wrong. Tell me how Israel didn't buy 42,000 Indian slaves from New Delhi. Or from Delhi, sorry, from Delhi. In 2023, it's either at the end of 2022 or the early 2023, shortly after Netanyahu and his coalition of psychopaths was put in charge, while we were distracted by Kanye, the UN threatened that they wanted to do an expose into Israel because they wanted to, Israel is supposed to be a temporary occupation, not colonization, and yet it seems like it's colonization. So they're going to open up the book. The UN was going to open up the books and look into what Israel has been doing. And the Israeli response is, no, you can't do that. That demonizes Israel. Well, if Israel's been on the up and up lately, and everything they do is right, and they're justified, why would looking at their records demonize them? Come on, stupid people. Tell me what I'm wrong about. All of you America, all of you patriotism supporters. I'm American. Constitution. I'm a constitutionalist. It's all stupid. It's all stupid, man. I can tell you this. I got pulled over yesterday because I have a busted taillight. And the cop tried doing all that shit to me. Asking me where I was going and all that. And I was like, dude, no, I'm not. I don't answer any of these questions. Just let's do what we have to do. He was like, are you okay, man? What's wrong? I know you hate cops. I'm like, no. I don't like these situations. This is stupid. I don't need to answer your questions. That's all. I just want to have a conversation with you, but I don't want to have a conversation. This isn't a mutual conversation. You're not Dave sitting at the bar and I'm Guy walking up like, hey, let's have a conversation. You're a cop who's trying to ruin my life and is fishing for shit to fuck with to make it worse. And my wife told her cousin, was like, hey, yeah, oh my God, he got pulled over in the town that I got pulled over in. And he was like, oh shit, they always search you in that town. Didn't search me. Because I was like, this is stupid. What are you doing? You know, I don't give them anything. It's the same cop that fucked with my wife 6 months ago.
Shit. No, it was in the summer. It was July.
Almost 6 months ago. But it's, you know, and with my wife, who's super respectful and doesn't want to cause any problems, he pulled her out of the car, searched her, had her on the side of the road for over an hour, all this shit. I'm in the same car and I'm the bad guy. But I was just like, dude, come on, what are you doing? You have anything illegal in the car? Like, I would tell you if I did.
Oh yeah, all kinds of shit.
Yeah, can you ruin my life over it? Lots of cocaine. What do you guys always say? You need bazookas? Yeah, I got bazookas in the car. Haha. Anything that's gonna hurt me? Knives, guns, bazookas. All make the same dumb joke. Well, it's supposed to lighten the mood before we fuck with you. What when that happens? Anyway, I'm getting tired. You guys are boring. Nobody's saying anything, so I will catch everybody later. Pedophiles, you just do me a huge favor and kill yourself.